Hello and welcome to our little Big Brother chat here on Crazy Hank TV. This week, we're going to unpack all the good, bad, and ugly from the past week. So, eviction night, were we happy the way it went? It was kind of, at the end, it was a hard choice between the two.
Yeah, there's really no way to be happy if you liked both of those people. It's a tough one because, either one is a bummer to lose them in live feeds and it's a bummer to lose them in the game. But if you're somebody who's rooting for the, for the cookout, they're going to have to go.
Like the entire season, it was incredibly predictable.
Yes.
What are you going to say? The CBS tried to cut it up to make it seem like there was a tension.
They did try. They did try.
And I was very surprised to see who voted to keep him and who didn't, because I really thought again, I wasn't on the feeds and I wasn't in the Twitter much, but I was really surprised to see that Tiffany, they could have done it. They had it. They could have done it.
I can tell you, there was so much rallying and so much hope that this whole idea of tell 4 people it's a sympathy vote, and maybe we can make it happen. Everyone knew that this never happens. It never works out. In the history of Big Brother, this is something that just never has worked out. But everyone really wanted it to.
I think it was really interesting. The argument that he made to Azah and Tiffany went to talk to Azah was very good, though. I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
Those guys think that they're carrying you.
And he expanded a little bit, and he made some really killer points where he was like, basically, there's 2 floaters in the house, and it's you and it's Derek F. And they can only take one. There's only one person who isn't winning competitions, that's going to go at the end. And it
looks like the sure deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be you. As long as these guys are running this, you're not going at the end.
Right.
So she really did. I think it planted a seed at the very least that she really needed to hear.
It definitely should have for Azah. Yeah. For sure.
Yes. She's got to step it up. She's either got to align herself and realize she's going to have to really tightly align herself with Tiffany and Hannah, or she should not feel comfortable. She should not feel comfortable where she's at.
Well, she admitted her ex crush, and I just think that kind of blinds her. She feels so protected by that that she doesn't really have to look for what happens if he protects you all the way to the end. You're not winning against him. But that's been Azah this whole week. She hasn't really made decisions based on games. She's made a lot of decisions based on her feelings, which that's fine. Sometimes your feelings are.
I mean, she's she would be she'd be an awesome person to know out there in the real world and have your back and be your friend. She sounds like a really great person. I don't think she's a mean person at all, but she's definitely not in a safe game to operate that way.
I mean, the argument of how are you going to get Kai and X out? How are you going to get them out?
She can't.
Well, you would think Tiffany would have realized that too.
But Tiffany does realize that. That's why she keeps trying to keep people like Christian and Derek X, because they are the challenge to those men.
Absolutely.
For her to win, one of them has to go home this week. I don't think Tiffany can win. If Kylan and X both walk out of this week, write her off, because
one of them's going to end up winning.
Yeah, she might be sitting in 4th place. I think, I want her there in the final 2 so badly, for if any reason, not just for the win, but for any reason to be able to sit down in front of jury and literally lay everything out that she has done and she has had her hand in. And for the fans of the show that don't get to see all of that extra stuff or have conversations about what's happening in the feeds, to actually see that this woman was probably the best player in this whole season, and she's not getting any credit for it. I want her to have that opportunity, but I think she's probably destined for about 4th place.
But if she doesn't take a shot when she has the opportunity to take a shot, I'm sorry, she's not the best player.
Well, unfortunately, she's taken a few shots that haven't worked out because she goes, okay, the writing's on the wall. I'm outnumbered. But now stepping into the HOH, it doesn't matter necessarily where the numbers are. I mean, it does a little bit because once she puts them up there, it's out of her hands. However, she's definitely got more power than she's had yet in the game. But then what could possibly mess this up? Well, we've got this like final twist, and what is it going to do to her game?
Right,
which will be her reason for not taking the shot.
Well, I don't think that. I don't know. I am very interested to see because I know she's got her eyes on a few people. Xavier was very sure to tell everybody, do not talk to Tiffany when I go into my 24 hours. Do not talk to her. Do not look at her because like I said before, they've got their eyes on each other. Like these two, they know. And they're like, it's so funny because it's like, you can tell they're both very respectful of their adversary. They see I think they truly see each other as equal in this game. But he's like, don't talk to her because I'm not here to follow everything up. Like, just so.
But she kind of gets an out since he's already going to be a third nominee, right?
Yeah, because he kind of put himself into a.
He did. So that's not on her.
Position.
That's not on her. If that goes poorly for him, not her fault.
Well, I just thought it was really dumb.
After the noms go up, right?
I think that they put up the initial nominations, then the coin is pulled, then there's the veto. And then you've got the third. He's the third. I mean, it's.
But does he go up with the first two so he can do the veto?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I would think that they put him up on the first one, but I'm not exactly sure how they're going to pan it out because this is Big Brother, and when there's a twist that isn't working. Twist to the twist. There we are. I got you.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back. It's Big Brother, so when they do a twist and it doesn't work out, which seems to be the majority of the time, they have to add a twist to the twist in order to get the twist.
Right.
So this is why we have, during their HOH night, now come over here and pick one of these envelopes for extra Big Brother cash because we don't want to have to make this final twist be on clearance for everybody else to get a chance at getting it. Because right now, Derek F's the only one that has a chance in hell of being able to play because he's been saving his money.
And why is America still sending him money every week?
And this is so funny. Like
I don't dislike him, but he is not playing the game.
He's fun, though.
I understand that, but it's like
I mean, he's fun, but he's not that fun.
I don't think he's that entertaining. I mean, when he fell down the slide on OTEV and hit his butt on the log, that was pretty funny. But
I personally feel like the diary room sessions and things like the little things that we get during our episodes, I think Asa is way more fun than he is. Like she just seems more of a character and silly, and we get to see her like over dramatic, Right. Everything we see with Derek, he's just laying. He's just laying there.
Right. And with Asa, she has some sort of like magnet for like anytime somebody's gonna cry, she's gonna be there to give you a hug.
She's there. That girl is there.
She's always like that somebody starts crying. So she must really
exude
this like they think they can be vulnerable with her, right? And no one's afraid.
Well, and I think like legitimate and because she is so real in that sense, like they all kind of flock to her with in those emotional moments because I think she really means it when she's trying to help somebody through something. And it's just like, oh, it's a real shame you don't realize that that's your power. Like that's your power in this game, but she was
there for me when no one else was. She believed in me.
I thought it funny when that they all knew Derek F was the one who went for the money.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And the way they edited that was really funny too.
And it's hilarious because, okay, so here's the thing. He's like, I mean, he gets goofy and he gets a little bit hyper here and there, but like, he's like most of the time he's just talking like this. He is just not a high key person and personality most of the time. But like he does this thing when he lies, like he has a lot of really obvious tells and they can see it. When he lies, he gets like really like, yeah. It's like a little bit too much. And so he's like sitting there telling Sarah Beth, like, you know, like, if you keep me safe and like, I'm going to have this money and I'm going to play for that ring. And then, but I'm not going to use it against you. Like, you're safe. I'll use it however you want me to use it, you know? And she's like, okay. Like, it took all week, but she's finally been a little bit convinced that she's going to be safe. And it's like, no. Like, the whole time he's all like, I'm going to put her up. That's who I'm going after. So he does have a little bit of game in there where he can convince some people, but most of the time everyone's like, he's trying to say that, who is he trying to say? That she didn't actually play. Like, she's got all this money and she didn't spend her money, and she like took her jacket off to make it look like she had been playing the game when she was in that room, but she really didn't spend the money. Like, he's trying to like spin it so everybody believes that like Claire hasn't spent a dime, and everyone's like, no. Like, come on, dude. You cannot lie. Like, we understand what's happening. Sarah Beth's been the only one that's really been convinced by his lies since Brittany left. So, I mean, he's got a little bit of handle there with her, but I don't think with anyone else. Except for America, apparently, who just keeps throwing cash at him. Boy, I don't even know.
He'll just be asking, like, do I have to spend it? Can I just keep it? Can I put it in my pocket?
He's like, I'm keeping this. I'm not going to play it.
I don't want to play.
I'm keeping it. It's mine. And speaking of money, like, Sarah Beth, for real, you got $5,000. You guilted that sweet baby D into that $5,000, and he handed it to you. And then you voted him out. And then oh my gosh. Yeah, so a lot of people
She backdoored him and put him up.
Right, no, and that was her plan since the second she won. Oh, I'm going to do whatever I can to backdoor him.
She's getting a lot of, like, Franzel edit. It's not going to bode well for her for a hot minute, but I think she's genuinely not a, like, horrible little thing. I mean,
the Twitter is turned on her for sure.
Oh. Yeah.
You don't like her on the Twitter.
Well,
that's what I mean. She got franzeled. She got the franzeled on there a little bit. But
I wish they could do some sort of thing, and this probably could work any season. But what's going on right now that Derek X and Claire had figured out, like, they were starting to put the pieces together. Who was in the alliance? Who was it that actually called out all the names? They did, right? They literally named everybody. You were like, they even named Anna. Right? Okay. So you have that going on. It's going to be really interesting after the fact when these people watch and go, oh, I was voting out all the people that I could have been working with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's like literally how these steamroll alliances do things. And then everyone's like, oh my God, we totally had like 3 separate chances where we could have overpowered them, but we were like, no.
But we weren't getting it. And Sarah B was just doing their dirty work for them this week.
Yep. And like, she did. Here's the thing, because she was not going to go after Tiffany or Claire. She made it clear. She called everyone up to the HOH. She let everybody speak their piece, get an idea of where everybody was standing. She was like super diplomatic about it. Like, really, she was really great. She's like, let's have an open dialogue. She wasn't weird or sneaky or anything. And then everything looked really good. Like, okay, maybe Alyssa will go up. She wasn't entirely sure who the other person was going to be, but she thought maybe Derek F might be the one to do. Tiffany and Claire were going to be safe. And then Kai wandered in, and Kai took over the HOH. She let him do his like Kai thing where he just keeps repeating an unfinished sentence, and eventually it kind of sunk in, and he really did direct her where to go. This wasn't the sad thing about all of this is that this wasn't what Sarah Beth's initial gut was telling her, so she didn't listen to herself. And then at the end of it, she went to the person she trusted the most, who is actually the one betraying her the most, and destroyed her chances at winning this game. And I'm like,
and then he voted to keep him.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm like, I can't. She's getting this Franzel treatment, and I can't get behind that because she just had a really bad HOH.
But why did Kylan vote for Claire to go home? I don't understand that. Like he was pushing the one thing.
Because he's Kylan, and that's why everybody's
does he think someone's going to know that he did that it's winning him points somewhere?
I don't even know, because there was so many conversations about should we flip? Should we keep Derek and get rid of Claire? I mean, and again, it was really getting close.
Good. I'm glad it was at least close.
Because everybody's like loves him, but at the end of the day, a plan is a plan. And if they're going to remain loyal to the idea of this being the final 6, they're going to have to do it whether they like it or not. And the overall, we saw a little bit of that. The overall thing was he's not untouchable. Like Sarah Beth put him on the block. He's not untouchable. Right. We can still get him.
Right.
But no, at the end of it, even Tiffany was like, oh, fine. But
it would have been great if he could have stayed, because Tiffany could have used him this week.
And she knew it. She knew that he would be such a benefit.
And I think Tiffany seems to understand that those 2 boys have to go.
Yeah,
they have to.
For her to win,
right? And that's what I mean about how she just doesn't get credit where credit is due. She knows this. All the things that you're saying, like she's going to have to do this. It's so easy for us, the viewer who sees the plot line and everybody's story, to say this is what would work best. But when you're in it and everything's lies and deceit and you have no way of knowing for certain who to trust, and you can still see it and still try to make a move on it.
And she's afraid to make the move on it, I think.
I don't think she's afraid to make the move.
Well, if she puts up X and Kai, I'll agree with you. When she puts up Sarah Beth and
Sarah
Alyssa,
Beth is definitely going to go up.
And so is Alyssa.
But see, I don't know where this will go, because there's like a whole week, and you know how these things are.
Right.
But tonight at the end, she went over to Alyssa during credits, and she went up to her and she's like, "I am not coming after you." So she may actually just be lying, and it's a pawn situation. I'm just putting you up there as a pawn, and then where the chips fall, they fall. Right. But she also realizes that there's this big twist, and so I'm going to put up. She can't. Okay, she's gonna have Derek. She's gonna have Xavier up there, regardless. Xavier's up there. She doesn't have to do anything. He's there. Right.
I really hope that she's able to use that without really and being like, maybe other people will realize, no, he's got to go.
But do we even actually know really what the full power of this twist is? Have we been told how the rules are going to work on it?
No, I thought they became the HOH.
But see, that's what I mean. She could take all the shots that she wants, but it would be really stupid for her to put up her own alliance member and get taken out of HOH.
Put 2 people up, and then they may come down with the other person if they become the HOH.
I just look at it like this. Thankfully, Xavier's already up there. She doesn't have to pull that. She doesn't have to pull that cord and unravel that yet. She can put the other 2 people up there and wait to see if she gets removed from HOH. She got removed without ruining her alliance at all, but he's still at risk.
Right. So,
and then after that, it's kind of out of her hands. We'll see.
It depends on if she's removed from replaced for HOH. Is she then eligible to be on the block, or does she still win safety for the week?
No, I think she'd be eligible. Maybe not.
See, and that wouldn't be fair. It'd be like, I still won HOH.
I don't know that she would be. I mean, in the past, when they've had something similar, that person isn't eligible, but it doesn't mean that they don't switch it up now.
Right. So because if they make it so that she's not eligible and X is already on the block, and let's say Big D gets it, whatever, who's he going to put up?
Sarah Beth.
Well, but she will have already put somebody up, right?
So you assume Sarah Beth and Alyssa's already up.
Oh, if Sarah Beth does not end up on that block this week, then something is totally run amok in that house.
So then the person who takes over HOH, do they have to replace the noms? Because can they not replace them with the same people? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if that's...
Maybe they can't replace them unless someone takes themselves off. If they win the veto or somebody gives them the veto, then they call the replation.
Okay, but
that's how they've done this. Whenever there's something similar,
because otherwise it would be one of those situations where if Derek, what happened to Alyssa this week, she played for the thing, she won it, she had to use it, and then her ally goes up, which I thought that was hilarious.
And I'm sitting there watching going,
yeah, me too.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's like, this is the greatest. I love when TV writes itself.
If it was stuff like that, where if whoever plays this week and wins has to use it, like it's forced, you play for it, you got to use it. You can't just not use it.
You're going to have to use it. Then what do you do?
Yeah, and if it's one of those things where they can't go up, then it's like you already have. If she puts up those two, Sarah Beth and Alyssa, and then somebody comes up and has to replace them, then I was thinking like, there's not many.
That would actually be a great twist.
Yes,
it could be a great twist because then
they all three came down and said you have to put somebody up, and it can't be the previous HOH or any of the three.
Derek, Big D would have to put up like Kylan and maybe Azza. Like, who's left? That could go up. That'd be kind of interesting. I'm sorry. I think that'd be kind of good.
I would find it
still no blood on any of their hands.
There's something really funny with the idea of like of Derek having to put up Kylan. Like it would be pretty funny because truth be told, I don't know how the rest of the cookout would. If Kylan was up there, I mean, I know they really. I mean, God, ooh, that's really going to tempt him. I don't know what to do.
Well, if X and Kylan are both up there, the rest of the cookout has to think, okay, now we're good together, but the four of us know they got to go.
Especially those girls.
Right. They have to go anyway. Why not now? Mm-hmm. We can use these other people to help us vote them.
Yep.
I mean, if Sarah Beth and Alyssa weren't stupid.
That's just it. That's the thing. They'd have to like wake up.
Look, that's what would end up happening. It'd be those two would vote to keep the guys, and then the cookout would be the ones to vote one of them out.
Especially that's just it. Because Sarah Beth's number one is Kylan, and Alyssa's number one is Xavier.
Right.
See what tangled webs. And then we've got our evictions that are coming up, like our double triple evictions coming up.
Well, and that's the sad part about what's going to happen is I don't understand. They waste all this time early
making us love these
3
people.
days to send somebody you don't care about home. And then when you finally get down to the final 7, 3 are going to be gone in the night.
It's like a bunch of gut punches, They just
and that's kind of okay. That's one of the great things about a double eviction is because everything moves so fast, and that's when you get a target out. That's when you
like tonight would have been a great double eviction night, right?
Absolutely.
Because when if they make the final 6, that's the game. That's what I want to see. But we're never going to see it. We're never going to see gameplay.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly. Yep. And see, that's what used to be so great. Like, because even when we did get like a little bit of a larger alliance sort of sweeping through, we hit that double eviction. So you've got a little bit of people left in the house that are not necessarily aligned together. Then you've got the other side of the house that is aligned together. You've got the double eviction is always the great equalizer. But once you throw it into a triple and then you put it towards the end of the game, all of the drama that it's like we've all rooted for the 6 and we've enjoyed all the people in this house, but like the people who really love the competition of the game, this is when it gets good because now people really have to find a way to be like, I'm voting you out of here, but you're still going to like me and you're still going to want me at the end. You're going to see that my gameplay was worth sending you home over these sort of things. How easy is it to be like on a triple eviction? Like, well, we had to put somebody up.
I feel like right now the cookout is already won. Like that alliance is because the
second Tiffany won tonight. Like that was the thing.
It's been a successful alliance.
They've won.
Do they have to make it to final 6? Not necessarily. I think it's been super successful. They should be super proud right now what they've all done. Okay,
and the reality is, if you don't have 2 people from the cookout at the end of this game,
I would be shocked. Then it's a failure. Yeah, I just don't see there's any way it's not going to be them at the end.
Even
some way.
But even though, like I said before,
the majority of the jury,
right? Mm-hmm. And like I said before, when the brigade got there, they cut Matt early and they kept Brittany, and she wasn't part of it because they realized like he's got to go before we let him get any further. It's just the reality of a competition.
You have to be able to size. Yeah, you have to size up the competition. And these guys are sitting there day and night, and they are making relationships with these people, but they have to also be assessing them. Yep. Going like, I really love you, bro, but.
And at this point of the game, I think that the 2 most astute, aware, people left in that house would likely be Tiffany and Xavier. They both know that each other is our real competition. They got to get rid of Kylan for because he can win comps. But they know that everyone else, if it was down to Kylan and Xavier knows Kylan would likely be the one to go. If it was down to Tiffany and Kylan, at this moment, they might be a little bit of a tighter run, but likely Kylan would be the one to go.
Just because of that physical threat that would be.
And because the way that he handled his HOH drove everyone insane. He's
one of those guys that could win out. He could win 3 or 4 competitions in a row.
Yeah.
Yes. Because competitively, yes, he could be a physical threat. That being said, take away the idea that he could possibly win these comps. He's not winning mental comps. And if he were into the final 2 against Tiffany or in the final 2 against Xavier, as sweet and as cared about as he is, he could not convince anyone on that jury except for Derek F that he deserved to win over any of these other people. I mean, he doesn't have he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the persuadability that you need to have with the jury. Where Tiffany and especially
he doesn't know how to seek out those little pressure points to get to.
He misses. He misses. He's great at trying to have some sort of conflict resolution and talk about people's emotions in conflict resolution. But I don't think he has the capability of pushing everyone's game aside and highlighting his skills. I don't think he could do it.
Well,
I think Derek F could do a better job at it than Kylan could.
Kylan, I don't think is a manipulative person in his life, so I don't think he has the tools to do that.
No.
I think Tiffany in real life knows the people around her, and
she really knows how to, and she's got the maturity. She's been through all the ups and downs of young person's
life experience, right?
Exactly. I mean, she's a mom. She's got kids. She knows what it's like to deal with fights, and she knows what pettiness is. And
being lied to on the daily. You're like,
Yep, right, exactly. You can spot it a mile away. But a little fun note about this is that Tiffany is actually now the oldest house guest since Cliff to win HOH, and she is the oldest woman to win HOH since Big Brother 10. It's been that long. And 13 years since a woman over 40 has been HOH at all. And she is the first Black woman since Bailey in BB20 and the 6th Black woman overall to win HOH in Big Brother. There's some stats, some Tiffany stats. Put it on her game card.
She might be moving up to All-Star League. I'm just saying.
I would be surprised if we didn't see her again. For real. Win or not. Even if she went home tomorrow, she's going to be back on this show. She knows it too well. She has a passion for it. She knows how to talk to the audience. If they would just show the audience that she's doing all of this. And it's so funny because Derek F truly, he's all we're carrying the women. We're carrying them. And Derek F wants the girls gone. He is after the girls. He has openly said it. We need to get the women out.
Derek F needs to be looking at Hannah and Azah, who do not have anybody outside. They're all solo, just cookout people.
Yep.
And those 3 need to realize that the other 3, things are not equal in the cookout. Those other 3 people all have an extra, right?
Yep.
And if he doesn't see that,
he doesn't see that. Bless him. He doesn't see it. Not yet. And by the time he does see it, it's going to be as he's walking out the door.
When the person that Frenchie went home so early,
into the number 2 chair. He could be doing that too.
Because I don't know, I would be looking at other people and be saying I think
it's so
they must feel pretty confident, especially Big D. He took all the money, so I was like, they're feeling pretty confident.
I think it's a little bit nuts that the man who spends the majority of his time in that house around Azah is not going I've got to keep her. She's my number 1. They would be the only people in the cookout whose number 1 was in the cookout.
Right. Yeah.
Why are they not seeing this? Win one comp when it matters, stick together, walk into final 2. so easy when we're out here, though, right?
Right, but you know what? I wouldn't honestly, if those three would wake up to see that they're kind of like they have it's definitely a handicap for them that the other three in the kick-out have. So if the three of them could figure it out and work together and make it to the final three, I would actually be okay with that.
Yeah, Hannah,
because you'd be like, oh, they did something.
Hannah, like really, I don't know. Hannah, she's confusing because she obviously she cares about Derek. We know she likes Derek, but like she kind of had no problem like going bye. Like, see you later.
Well, did you hear what she said though? Because he said you're the best, and she goes, I'm the worst.
Yep, because he doesn't know yet, and when he does know,
but
he might have figured it out by that
time. Nobody outside the cookout went, what does that mean?
Yeah, they know exactly what it means. Like they know exactly what it means because they know they're cutting their other person one by one. They're having to cut their other person and be like, yes, I am the one you trusted the most in this house, and I am saying goodbye to you.
Yeah.
So they all already know exactly what she meant by it. I'm pretty sure. The cruddy thing is though, it's like some people are like, oh my God, they're going to get so mad at us in jury and we're never going to get these jury votes because they're going to be so upset. But like Derek and Claire, like especially Claire, I don't think so. I don't think that they're actually going to be angry. I think they're going to be like, oh my God, we
Claire's
totally saw it.
In the head
right.
Going,
they're going to go, why didn't we rally when we saw it? Because they know they saw it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. They know they saw it. They know
they
did.
Do we want to talk about where Derek X's fatal flaw was this week?
Yeah, it was when he just took the wrong path on the balance beam.
Oh no! See, I think no. I thought his wrong.
He was like half a second behind winning. He was like this close to being.
No, it was 0.1, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You mean for HOH? That was hard though. I mean, he did his best. He was almost right there. I thought his fatal flaw was when he's like, "No, I'm going to keep the money for next week." He already knew that he was being looked at. Right? He wasn't feeling super secure. Right? A little nervous. Maybe he could end up on the block.
He trusted Sarah. And he trusted Kai.
And when you go I'm going to save this money for next week. No, you're playing this week, 1 week at a time.
Yep. And if
you can't use the money next week if you ain't here next week.
Didn't
he should have done the roulette?
Survivor go home with 2 immunity idols in their pocket once?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like the classic doofus move too. Right. I mean, you never live that down. You just don't.
So there, as soon as he decided not to play it, I thought, that's it. Yeah. He's going home.
But he trusted Sarah Beth. And the reason why he trusted Sarah Beth wasn't because of Sarah Beth. He trusted Kai. And Kai had gotten into her ear. And of course, he's telling everyone in the cookout, like, I've got her. She's going to do this. And we're good to go. Well,
that's why Kylan voted for Claire, because he'll be able to say, dude, I did everything I could. I voted for you.
But say it when. Say it to the jury. When it's jury?
And the jury, yeah.
You think he'll use that?
Or he could say it on a goodbye message.
Well, and okay, that's another. Can we complain about this? Like, I'm sorry. I think it's great that they're doing stuff for Red Cross. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I fast forward.
I don't care. I want to see the goodbye messages. I am so tired of not seeing those because we've already lost out on
the airtime. I have this great thought. They can just eliminate call-outs.
Stupid call-outs or compliment each other's earrings.
No. Hannah did the thing, telling Julie Chimundes.
I literally
shut up.
I got so frustrated just right now remembering that I had to take off my shoes. I was
shoes are off.
Shoes are off. So seriously upset about this. So, okay, here's the thing. And I was all up in arms on Twitter about this, but you've got to do these things because of COVID restrictions. It's sensible. You don't have a live audience there. I get it. I'm not questioning that. Smart, healthy, good choices. But we miss a really important dynamic that is really fun in the show. And that is, of course, everybody knows that Derek was loved. He got all this money. He's a lovable, likable guy. They all know it. They know.
You think it would have been good for them to hear how
the cheers. Think about the cheers that they miss out on, like that audience participation. They always clamor to that door because it gives them an idea. Was this person a villain?
Yeah.
Was this person somebody different than we thought? How many times have they thought that America was going to love somebody and the person walks out to crickets? You know, like
right.
Sarah
if
Beth,
I was in that house, that would
wipe their butt with the Big Brother bucks.
It's right, exactly. So I miss that. And when somebody's like, when they get sent out and they're like heartbroken, it's just there's something about walking out and getting to see all of these people and an audience cheering for you, and you're like, okay. But I also the whole like don't touch me thing is really uncomfortable when she walks out. Like, could we just like brief this before we go on the air? Reminder, if you are voted out, don't touch Julie.
You will walk out the door immediately, go sit in the chair.
No hugs. No hugs. And then we don't have to have that awkward social exchange of stay over there, because every time she does it, I'm like, oh, that feels gross. I don't like it.
Just put a plexiglass thing up. God,
That's what they do at Comic-Con.
Put her in a little box.
Have you seen all these pictures coming out of Comic-Con that's got like the divider between the fan and the star?
Really?
Yes. Yeah,
the stars probably like that though. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
Let's be honest, exactly.
So yeah, we don't get to see the goodbye messages. And now I'm trying to like go, okay, well, like I can go online and I can watch them if I really want to, but I feel like maybe if they really were going to do enough to kind of give people going into the jury house an idea of somebody's agenda in, you know, or like maybe they'd show it, like if it was important, maybe they'd show it. And then I get calm about that for a minute. And then I remember the edit Tiffany's getting. And then I'm like, no, we have to see these goodbye messages.
Right.
Plus, I mean, okay, we don't want him to cry because we love the kid, but also kind of don't you want to see him get the goodbye message and then like tear up? It's like part of the heart of the show.
Yeah.
You know, just when I thought I couldn't like him any better, I'm like, oh, he's also a male who's totally okay being vulnerable and showing his emotions. My daughter was watching, going like, they're gonna send him my boyfriend.
Okay, my 7-year-old daughter was like, no, he's the coolest guy. They can't send him home.
My daughter, he gave a shout out to his business on Instagram. My daughter immediately went there and started following it.
I love it.
So yeah.
I mean, when they were all saying goodbye, to me, it felt like the first time in a really long time, if any memory at all, where I'm watching a house guest leaving the show. And everybody's goodbyes were like so genuine and heartfelt. It was like watching like this group of best friends that have been together forever. Yeah. And one's like moving far away across the country and they're all at the airport and it's getting ready to board the plane. Like it was so like real. These people are going to be friends.
Don't you think that goes back to the casting this year? I mean, they did such a good job. There's nobody who's like, oh, he's a jerk. Well, I mean, not after a couple of weeks, but
right. But it's very
the season could have used a good villain.
Sure, but you know what?
We've seriously, maybe two.
We've had so many villains of late. It's kind of nice to see them like each other.
I truly believe that might be why Tiffany is not getting the edit that she deserves, because they need a villain. And so
I don't think she's coming off as a villain.
Go read up the Facebook groups. She's
maybe not the villain, but like the one who will the one who will snap at someone. And
well, she did do the snap tonight,
right?
She did the whole. I can't even do it. Can anyone do it? But
I don't have that kind of skill.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it was actually last night she did it.
I try to do any physical movement that's cool, and I come off looking like an idiot. We're not.
It doesn't. It's perfect in your head. But then it just doesn't.
No, I can't even ride a bike without looking like a moron. Like it's just not my skill.
Like you ride a bike like you just learned how to walk yesterday, right?
Oh my God, I get picked on all the time because I have these like long limbs. So like when I run, I'm like, where do these long limbs go? And of course, like they go in the front of you like a dinosaur.
But your knees are just like
and you run like T-Rex, because that's the logical way to do this.
All right, let's see. Ro was saying, we'll take a look at some of our comments here. Ro was talking about Sarah Beth's HOH, saying that it was the biggest betrayal yet. Sarah Beth should not have let Kai control her. I think we're all in agreement there. Yeah, that was kind of.
And she's going to think that too. She's going to have a sad reckoning when she realizes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially when there's all this like, I love you, you're the best. I love you, you're the best. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. She's gonna be mad.
Yeah, she is. And Rachel says, I love them all wearing that green.
And then, okay, can we talk about that shade of green too? Because that is not a shade that like anyone can just walk around in, and they all looked awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just made them look more glowy, more like Hannah looked like she'd just been out in the sun that was like radiating off her skin.
And Claire and Derek both looked like everyone looked great tonight. Like they were that Derek, he's just a cutie patootie.
He's too cute.
X did not look that great.
He looked awesome, whatever. He totally looked like somebody that was locked up for 24 hours and had to amuse himself.
No, seriously.
But though, as slow as he was moving, Julie was like, all right, come on. This is like something. Come on. We were like, come on already.
I know. Again, why wasn't this planned ahead of time?
Right.
What was the person supposed to like run out? Because it's not like he was, I mean, he had this like goofy swagger, but I don't think he was walking any slower than somebody just walking.
No, but they had him so far away. If they had just said, when they were at the commercial, they could have had him all the way down and in there.
And put him in the
They could have put him in the diary room.
Exactly.
There you go. Right. And then he could have been out. And guess what? We would have had time for goodbye messages.
Goodbye messages. More quotes from the three named lady.
There could have been extra call-outs.
There could have been at least 4 more family members. 4 more.
I think they should just tell them, like, if you go over, you can say hi to one person each week. You cannot do call-outs for personal promotion, but you can say hello to one family member each week.
That's what really bothers me.
And then
I'm going to jump on
not, we're taking it away from your per diem.
That's the thing. I get it with the shout outs to the family because it's time consuming and we don't know any of them. And I'm pretty much with you on that's kind of annoying.
It's the same ones each week too.
Right. It's not my biggest pet peeve in the entire show, but it's definitely in there. But now that they're allowed to start their shout outs for their Instagram and their Twitter handles and their businesses and their cousin's business and their great grandma's gravesite and like, give me a break. Can we stop? This is
Mima needs some flowers. Get them over there.
Where does the madness end? I don't get it.
And then sucking up to Julie. They do understand that Julie does not get to vote, right?
She doesn't even watch the show.
She doesn't even know who they are.
She doesn't know who
They're in her ear telling her.
I wish one person would just walk in and go, hey, Julie, you look fine.
Yeah, you're right.
And just sort of, you look fine.
Or when they come out, go, oh my God, you really do look just like Julie Chen.
That'd be amazing.
Right? That'd be kind of funny.
I love that. That'd be good. That'd be great. Yeah, and tonight I was like, it was really funny because I'm just like, I'm getting so frustrated because like I have no problems with people having their faith. I don't care. This is an awesome thing about America. Let's believe in whatever we want. But like now we're doing shout outs to God in the middle of Big Brother. I'm like, what is this? And then it's like followed up by like
who God is. I don't know who Grammy is.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Care about Grammy?
There's everybody. Yes, you make a very fair.
But Grammy's probably watching.
But like, okay, a call out to God during their eviction speech, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. Because I mean, athletes do it. I don't care. But like, she's becoming insufferable. She's insufferable. And then she does her little like be humble thing, and I'm like, what? And then she's like, of destiny. And even my 7-year-old is like, what is she doing? And Chris is like, she's drunk, guys. Just get off her back. She's been drinking.
I mean, she is.
She was so crazy tonight. She was so hyped up and like.
But you know what? I think that she is trying to come out. She's trying to break that shell. She's trying to be.
I think maybe that's what it is, and it feels weird. It's like when you're in what, like 9th or 10th grade, and you've got like the English lit teacher who like always wears floor skirts and like long sweaters and massive amounts of like turquoise jewelry, and she's like trying so hard to like.
Vibe with the kids.
Yeah, and be hip with the kids.
Right.
Yeah, that is exactly what she feels like. It's that same uncomfortable, like, no. You have a role. We know the role. We're comfortable with that role. Stop this. Yeah. Stop this. This is weird.
Yeah, they get, like you said, I think you suggested that last week. They could just flip their mics off. You're done. Yeah. You gave your vote. Boom.
Yeah, you're out. Yep.
And then they were doing their freaking dances in the hallway again.
I don't know. See, I'm not bothered by the dancing.
Really? I'm just like, get to it. I want to see. I want get in, get the vote. I need to see. They had the first 2 votes and they went to a commercial.
Well,
I mean, like, I was really hoping
something ran over because that wasn't how.
And then it took 50 years for X to walk down the stairs. I was like, come on, I got to see if my boy's staying or going.
Well, what about, was it like last week? I think maybe when Derek F was like the last person to evote. Did you hear him evote again tonight? He was the last person to evote, and he like walks into the hallway and he's like waiting for another person to come in so he can do like a screen move. And there's nobody. See, that's why you don't do those things. That's why I wouldn't do. But
that was gold.
That would be me.
Okay,
I would be that.
You had said something about the Red Cross thing that they did this week, which was kind of cool. I mean, because they're highlighting something, and
and it is
hyping it for the audience.
Right, a million times better than let's like watch this movie and hype this movie released or something. This I can do. This is so much better.
Agreed. And they could have shown just what they showed, and that'd be fine. But were you impressed with the amount of eggs they made? They got nothing to do. Nothing. Put them to work.
Yep.
They could have had a freaking container out there just filling them. Just let's make more. If I was in there when they
show me you are worth $750,000.
I was like, these people are probably begging for something to do. Like, yes,
in the next 24 hours, whoever makes the most bags gets a twist.
There you go. And you know what? That would have gotten people
Could you imagine Derek X would have made a billion bags at that point?
Only if it was money.
But here's another.
Derek X.
Oh, Derek X. Sorry,
because thinking there might have been a twist that could save him, right?
I just think that they showed it was when they showed that they did so few for the 10 people that were there. It made me feel like, it was just like for show, and it wasn't really. Do you know what I mean?
Here's the thing that I was thinking was a little bit. I don't know. If I was in the house and they were like, I mean, I've watched it. It wouldn't mean anything to someone who hasn't really watched the seasons, but I know they always do like the movie thing or the Outback thing. They always have something. But if it were me, I'm pretty sure if it were you and we were sitting in there and they're like, this is what we're going to do. My first question would be like, what happened? Like, what happened? Why are we making these? Where's the disaster? What happened?
Right.
None of them like questioned, was there a world catastrophe that we're helping out with?
I wonder what happened. Was it here? Was it abroad? What happened? Was it?
Right. Because like my head would be like Katrina, and then of course we had the earthquake in Haiti and stuff. So I mean, clearly there's something where we can contribute these two, but none of them were like really questioning it. And I would have
they don't know. There could have been a hurricane and New Orleans is underwater again. They don't know.
Exactly. I wouldn't have been able to let it go. I would have been like, and they're in the DR room, like, you have to tell me.
Well, maybe they did. Maybe they made some sort of announcement to him to let him know, like, hey, okay, we're going to do this thing. It has nothing to do with, just to calm them beforehand. So they're like, oh, okay.
Maybe. Because like, I can't.
We don't want you guys to read into this.
I just can't fathom doing that and not thinking like, oh my God, there was some horrible disaster and there's probably a telethon happening. And I don't know, I guess because that's what you immediately associate something like Red Cross with. So, they're where the disasters are happening or happened. But nope, no questioning. Like, we're just going to do our thing.
I'm going to say they probably did it without off screen.
I'm going to hope so. I'm going to hope so because otherwise
that's the only thing that makes sense there.
I mean, because things happen. And they used to in the last Olympics, Julie did tell them on an HOH night just to let you know, like, this is who took gold or, like a little tidbit of what's happening out
America
there.
won gold in the whatever. Yeah.
Right. But they're not doing that.
Did anyone care about the Olympics this year? Really?
No, not really. The skateboarding was really cool, though. I was all about the skateboarding. I'm not going to lie.
I literally didn't watch 1 second of the Olympics this year.
I watched as much skateboarding as they would show.
We put on the opening ceremony.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
We put on the opening ceremony and we got bored pretty quick when the kids were watching it. We went in the other room, watched something else, and then came back. Every time we came back out, it was like, oh my God, it's still on. Oh my God, that's still on. Oh my God, it was like 6 hours. What? It's still on.
Yep. Well, everybody knows that short of the gymnastics, the Winter Olympics is where it's at.
Well, and the gymnastics was disappointing this year because there was so much
chaos, just chaotic things, such as the world. This is why we need to have the Red Cross bags made because the world is a mess. I really thought it would have been let's
cooler
hire
if
some hamsters.
Do some more bags. Yeah, and Kylan was like, "Oh yeah, I've done these a lot. I made these bags before." Yeah.
I'm like a super cool guy that helps people that are unfortunate. Watch me.
I go make food for the homeless. I deliver.
Were you guys what were you guys thinking during our HOH competition tonight? Did you have anyone in specific you were rooting for?
I was trying to figure out if I could tell if anyone was throwing it.
I was kind of trying to figure it out.
Right?
Too.
There were a couple times where it was like when people said true to Brittany being in the orange. Right?
Well,
and I was like,
they were studying all night.
Right.
They were studying all night. Like so many people.
I saw it one time and I knew it wasn't orange.
So many people were mad because
I thought it was pink, not purple, but
right. But I would have known it wasn't orange.
Right.
Okay. So I thought it was pink also.
Well, but here's the thing. So they had the announcement that we're going to have like a memory style type test. Okay. For HOH. And Xavier goes into his 24-hour lockup. He doesn't get to study. So I am not surprised by his,
but he's going to be a third nomination anyway. So he really shouldn't have HOH this week. Right. He's already kind of given that away.
So here's the issue that I really had with this last 24 hours in the house. You've got Xavier in lockup, serious threat. He can convince anybody to do about anything. And then you've got this big test that is happening. But it's your last 24 hours in this house. It's the last chance you have to campaign, and it is the most important time of your campaign. From the time you get put on that block all the way up, the last 24 hours down to the last 12 hours, the last 5 hours, you need to campaign and keep campaigning and don't stop. Especially when you have Xavier in lockup and he can't say or do anything. He cannot come in and he can't follow behind you after you have said your piece. He can't come in behind you and undo everything you just did.
We would think Tiffany would have taken advantage of that.
But instead, they were all just focused on studying because everyone's mind was made up. Study. And that's what they were doing. All night was studying. But the thing is they don't know what they were studying. So they're just studying pictures and videos and just trying to remember every little bit about it, and hopes that they had something remembered.
Well, and they were there too. So they're kind of like recalling information they've already seen too, right?
Yeah. And they have this Fruit Loop method. They take cereal pieces and use that as a way of remembering things because they can't write stuff down. They're not given writing utensils and stuff. But they I
don't know. I'm pretty visual. I think if I could just sit there
and be able to
and just pay attention.
But see, I think, right at that first question,
I didn't think they were that hard.
Yeah, and in the first question, we had nearly half people with true and half the people with false.
That's why I wonder if they were throwing it. The other one was the order of how they came. That one that was the order of did this came to the twirly one that showed Brent was before whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, that was almost the second or third thing that they showed.
Right.
So clearly it was before, right? And half people got that wrong.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the aim of throwing it at this point is, but look at the first set of people that were out. Who did we have out? Claire definitely didn't throw it.
Right.
She was so mad. She's like,
yeah, because she was like, yeah.
Yeah, so she definitely didn't throw it. Why in God's green earth would Azah throw it? I don't know.
Because she thinks she's perfectly safe.
She could.
She doesn't have to do anything.
And she is in the floater boat too. So
right, and same for Big D. I mean,
right.
Right.
Yeah, and then Xavier just didn't really have a chance anyway in that whole situation. He didn't get to see. I don't think he got to see the videos at all. I don't think.
See, that's kind of not fair. If he was in seclusion, they should have showed the same thing.
Maybe they did, but I don't.
At least give him a little tablet or something so he can watch the same loop and have the same chance.
No, you know what though? There wasn't a lot of feeds on him in that room either. So.
We have no idea what he's in there doing.
I was saddened to see they use Christian's backflip in the loop because I never needed to see that again. He needs to go away.
I love it.
The thing with Travis doing the walrus pose or whatever he was doing was pretty funny.
It's so great though that they were doing all of the embarrassing footage. That was really funny to me because they didn't show them just regular footage of a competition or something. It's
Azah
this is all over, guys.
She does not have to spend $5,000 to take that off of the internet. It was perfectly fine. It's funny. She looked cute even when she fell.
She has plenty of videos on the internet of her and her pageants walking beautifully.
Yeah.
Looking awesome.
And she didn't fall because she's clumsy. She fell because she didn't, there's something behind her. She was moonwalking, and she did a very fine job at that. It would
be much worse if I had tried to moonwalk.
Right. She should not.
The first rule of moonwalking, though, is to look behind you before you start moonwalking.
Look out
it was going so well for her. She just kept going. She was just going to go out the door.
Handsome men.
Now, I need to know: is it GIF or GIF?
It's a good. It's a good. It's not. They
pronounced it both ways.
I always say GIF.
It's a GIF.
That's
just calling it.
I mean, just phonetically.
I've never heard it called a GIF before.
I've heard it called that, but I've immediately heard people upon that going, that is not peanut butter. So
and it was Claire that said it.
Claire.
Well, I turned on her after she did the call-outs last week, so.
She did do a
She was my favorite.
Oh my God, and when she was in that shower, like crying, it was... I was like, none of this matters. This isn't real problems. Don't cry.
But it was one of those things where
handle it.
She thought she had a good strategy for it. She did it. She did well. She didn't have to reset.
But she knew that she was okay. That's what like, how can you not love this girl? She knew she was okay and that Derek wasn't, and she wasn't okay with it.
Right. And so when she realized that if I had just done that one other thing, then I would have won. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. And just like so upset with herself. And then Derek, like, it's okay. And it was so funny because it's like, like they'd all be hugging, but she's in the shower and she's crying and she can't hug you because she's in the shower. Like, it was just, it was so much. It was so much. And then when when they're like sitting there and they're like holding hands, on the block tonight, like getting ready, and I'm just like, oh my God, these are the nicest people. They're going to get split up and it's the worst. But I feel like Claire, I feel like as much as I like Hannah and I like the whole Hannah and Derek thing. I think that's cute. My heart would really be set on a Claire and Derek match myself, because they're both just amazingly awesome and have such funny senses of humor and are not backstabbing anybody.
See, I think they could be, if it was never a romantic thing, I think they could be friends for a really long time.
I agree. I cannot fathom a world where the two of these.
I mean, where they don't have a hammock and lay down in the hammock together. Right. Come on. I don't want to live in a world where there's not that.
I know. Nobody wants to be in a world where Derek and Claire aren't friends. Let's be honest.
Right.
That's the best option we all have at this point.
Oh, that's interesting. Rachel says that apparently people fall in that spot all the time. That happens. Just a bad corner or
a dip.
Maybe it gets narrow floor. There. That stupid
look
plant.
Out for the dip. God, nobody wants.
Well, now I'll be watching that spot to see if people fall.
I know. Now it's like a thing, right? We got to tally it.
Yeah. What else?
Do you know one thing I do like about this season? Even though jump scares are really funny, I mean, it's fun to scare people. Like, it's just not like no one's using it to rely on their game, or for their game to rely on it. Like, I'm the guy that goes around scaring everybody. That's why you should keep me, because I'm a super blast.
Because I made you pee in your pants a little bit.
Right. Like, those moments are funny, but isn't it nice? Isn't it refreshing that we don't have like one person on the cast that's like using that as their reason to be there? Like, yes, everyone here deserves to be here mostly. That's great.
Yeah. Mostly.
Mostly. I mean, at least Derek F is just like laying around a lot, but at least he is like trying to deceive people poorly.
Yeah, because they're not deceived. They're like, oh yeah, he totally took all that money.
Yeah.
Now that's a good. Now everyone wants to take him to the end. Is that gonna make some people sour that he does have money in his pocket already?
They could use it. They could totally use it against him. It's part of the reason why Matt got knocked out of the brigade. So
so they go to the end and it's like, well, he's already got this money. Give the money to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
Not that he has.
I don't think that he really
against him, but.
Yeah, and I don't think as far as like before he came into the house, I don't think he actually, like, his family doesn't really have a whole lot of money, because at the end of his days, like, Fraser was like his father was very, I mean, when he was born, his dad was already pretty old and there wasn't a whole lot of money like left. Like his funeral had to be paid for and stuff. It was a pretty rough end. But I think that since he's gotten to that house, he keeps getting all this money, and America is like proving that they love him. And if someone else like in that house realized it for a minute, like they could use that against him like this to get rid of him. Like they could turn and make him target number one. It's just like you were saying, if you're getting all the money, shouldn't that make you a bigger target to the rest of the house?
Well, sometimes people are like, why do they get money and I don't get to go to have a chance to get some money? I need some money.
Well, they got to think like, even though I kind of know everybody that's in jury, maybe I need to think about this. If I bring him to jury and he's this loved, clearly I'm not reading something correctly because America loves him. He's going to get,
maybe
he's
everyone
else
win. Loves him too.
Right. And I'm just missing it. Right. So that could, if somebody took a half a second to talk about that, I think that's all it would take.
Some people might know this, but I'm not a very sporty person, so I just had to Google Joe Frazier. I knew he was a boxer. I did know that.
Okay, yep.
But I did not know.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
I did not know he had died.
There's a joke there for a friend in Wisconsin.
But he beat Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah. They fought like 3 times and they were epic battles.
Okay,
yeah.
so like, no matter what,
like, what I just said
my
was
dad,
at the end of an
my dad beat up Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like, that's pretty. Okay,
kind of a big deal, right? But
I don't know if it was Muhammad Ali then. He might have been Cassius Clay then.
But they don't. I still don't think any of them know. I don't think any of them know what's going on. Like, don't know that that's who he is.
Oh, I thought didn't he say that?
He might have. I don't know. I don't think he did, though. I mean, they're so young. So many of them are so young.
They're not gonna. They don't even know who Muhammad Ali is. Probably most of them.
That's. I mean, they're just so young. I don't know how much they know about boxing.
No, you got to know that. Those are like
I don't know,
pop culture touch points, aren't they?
I don't know. I have all these young guys telling me that Michael Jordan wasn't the greatest basketball player. So.
You know why? Because they see Michael Jordan now with
clones running around,
and Michael Jordan now doesn't look that impressive. But back in the day, it was all Michael Jordan.
He could fly.
It was, and he had heart.
They wrote songs about it.
Heart.
Yep.
He was the original Looney Tunes star.
That's what I'm saying. This is weird. I had no idea this was gonna lead into a conversation about Michael Jordan.
Sorry. Okay, wait. So now I was looking because you said he had them when he was older. So I was trying to figure out what year Derek was born. See, I'm down a whole rabbit hole here now.
Yeah, because he's a pretty young man. That Derek F.
And his dad was born in 44. So.
I was like, can I take my name back? No. Mm-mm. You cannot. He deserves the Derek. You haven't earned it yet. You don't get to be the only Derek.
No, he stays Big D. Come on, that's fine.
Yeah. And the whole baby D thing was like, really?
Again, I'm like, oh, look at Julie try to pretend like she has a pulse on this, like she has any idea what's happening. Look at her. Oh, it's so cute. She's part of the game.
They filled her in like 2 seconds before.
They're like, call him Baby D, and she's like, okay.
The kids will love it.
They'll love it. You'll be a huge hit.
Right. You'll trend.
Yeah. She's just doing her job. She's just being a professional. I can't. I'm like, you're ruining this for me, lady.
But you know what? She's one of the high points every season, right? Like, as much as we make fun of her,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I can't. If somebody else was doing it and doing it correctly, I don't know if I would like it.
It's like I love to hate these moments, but also I could really get behind a Janelle as the new host.
Sure.
Or, you know what I mean? Like a high featured.
Except that's not going to happen because you just saw what happened with Jeopardy.
Oh my God, that was a mess.
Oh, you mean they had all these people they were trying out, but they had somebody that's he was wanting to do it the whole time? That doesn't seem like that was rigged or anything.
How strange. How very strange. As if this doesn't happen.
Oh wait, the wife of the network president gets jobs at that network. So weird.
I know. I wonder what it would be like though if she really had to battle for her job. I mean, it just maybe she is right now, guys. Maybe that's why she's being so weird.
It's been several years now. It's been like, this is like the third Big Brother season where she's Moonvez'd it up.
Yes, but it's getting weirder. like I feel like she's just getting a little bit more out of control.
Maybe she's secretly poisoning him slowly, but trying to pretend that she's so into the marriage, so that they'll never ever suspect her.
It's like everything's fine. It's great. We're very loving. I love Big Brother. It's so amazing.
I was using his last name professionally.
And okay, and then what's with Hannah when she like goes boom, boom, boom with those names? Like she like called him
twice. She did it.
Yes. So tell me, was she like, I love this lady and I know she'll love this, or was she like,
right? Was it like an inside joke that her family at home's like, yeah?
I mean, and even if it was an inside joke, like it was something funny, we're not going to find out for like 4 years until she can when she's free of her CBS contract. So in 5 years, we'll see you here and we'll let you know.
Ro asked the question that we asked when that thing first happened with Les Moonves, and we were wondering if she kept working for that show because she quit The View, or not The View, the Talk. The Talk. She quit that, but stayed with Big Brother, and I wonder if it had to do, maybe he has some sort of ownership in that, or
I'm not sure. Well,
they get some sort of
I don't know.
Payment from that.
That's just it. She may still be like have had a contract situation or something that she couldn't just walk out on it. I know, like with the Talk, it seems like they have hosts. Like every other year, they're changing hosts, and they always have. So there's probably
not a bad thing. Keep it fresh, right?
But I think it's like definitely a lot easier rotation on a show like that as far as contracts go. But I mean, I would be okay with it. But like honestly, like your CBS viewer isn't going to want to not have her. You know, even if they're like, it's still her job.
Well,
yeah, because like.
And the whole topic of her husband's behavior isn't going to come up on Big Brother.
No,
on the Talk, they're going to be talking about other people who did it.
Yes,
and every time it's a sexual harassment conversation, she's going to be awkward for her.
Yeah,
right? Everyone's going to be side-eyeing her.
There's so many social and political issues that they have to talk about on that show. It's the bread and butter of the show.
Well,
whereas on Big Brother, she's literally just hosting it and clicking a trip cord.
Yeah.
So.
And when that happened with him, that was still when there was a lot of Me Too movement. There was a lot of things coming out.
Absolutely. And I think some of her...
Ask the governor.
No, I know, but it seemed like there was...
really started to roll.
There was a time there where it seemed like it was kind of fast and furious. Every day was like E2, Matt Lauer, E2, something. There was so many...
Right.
Every day was somebody else.
And on top of that, I think that some of her co-hosts probably had a few things to say in that direction too.
Like, girl, let us help you. We're going to get you out of there.
But in Big Brother, she's the only host. She doesn't really have to, you know what I mean? Like,
she doesn't have to interact with anyone but once a week.
She doesn't really have coworkers beyond the technical team and stuff. She doesn't have anyone else who's on air.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so it's really... basically was harmless to keep her there, and more important to keep her there than to boot her out and try to prove a point. So I think that
it was just so weird.
The wrong choice. She's super weird.
It wasn't a wrong choice for her to stay on Big Brother. That's fine. Good for her. I mean, she's got to work. Why should her career be over? It shouldn't be.
Right.
That's not fair.
That's absolutely right.
But she doubled down and decided to use his last name professionally when she never did before. That was the weird thing. That's where it was weird, because you just go like,
you're like, really?
It was a weird flex.
I mean, can you still like
weird flex.
Can you still go through? Can you still be in that relationship and go through counseling and work these things out and try to help your mate be a better human being, but also do all of that without having to take on his name at the end to prove suburbance? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It was weird, and it was like, ugh.
Unless she did it just to stop anyone from questioning her. Like, I'm going to do this thing that I never did, and it's going to put that
make it clear.
The
make
period
it clear
at the end of the sentence.
Right.
Yeah, don't ask me if I'm leaving him. Don't ask me.
I understood at the moment that she was showing support.
Correct.
Regardless of whether she should have or she shouldn't have. That's not relevant. She was showing support. It's 3 years later. Why are we still doing it?
Right. Right.
And it's funny because it's like, it's not like her name's like, like she's just adding syllables to her name just to do it.
Julie Chen, that's got a nice.
Right. It's poppy. It's good. Like,
right.
She's no Isabella Rossellini, like it's like the Moonves doesn't roll. It's not beautiful. Like it adds something to the name as far as
it's a little clunky.
Yeah, clunky.
Yeah,
that's the word. Clunky, like Ozza's moonwalking.
Well, just at the very end, she
was great up until
she was really
that
good.
end.
I'm sure she's a fantastic dancer.
Yeah,
in more than just the moonwalk.
She is. She's awesome. I've seen it.
All right. Well, what else? What do we think? What do we think she's going to do this week, Tiffany? Big T. Big T.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, we've got Xavier's on the block. He put himself there. It would be really easy to put Alyssa and Sarah Beth up there. Alyssa, you're just a pawn. You're just a pawn.
Twist.
And then the twist.
We got jokes. If any, big deep cut to old timey times. If anybody gets that. That you think she's as fake as Robin Leach? I think Robin Leach actually tried, but
I think Robin Leach has more life lessons to teach us than Julie Chen Moonves could ever try.
I bet you Robin Leach has seen some things, been some places, done
probably some unsavory moments.
There are some people that might be loaning him money under the table just so he stays. Like, I'm just saying.
Like, you never saw this. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money in that, you bet.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Moon, but I don't know. I could do with, I hate her like little final words of advice, but also what would we do without them? I could not be a good person if she wasn't telling me how to at the end of every Thursday night.
Only thing other thing I noticed about her tonight was she was wearing a black top and black pants. But in the lights of the studio, the blacks weren't exact, and it was really throwing me off.
I thought the top of her was like 1980s prom dress, and like the bottom was like 90s like working woman.
It was like it was like something about the textures in the fabric. Something was catching the light, so it looked like
weird,
they weren't the right blacks to wear together. You gotta be careful. Yeah. It's like you put on the faded black pants with a nice brand new black shirt. You can't do that.
No, it looks
awful.
It
was fine for the record. As a matter of fact, I really didn't think about it.
He was like, "What was she wearing black today?"
You know what I love? I love when she wears just a very simple, like just a dress with no crazy weird things on it. Just she's beautiful. She paid a lot of money to look that beautiful.
Yeah.
Just you be the beautiful. Stop wearing this big poofy weird hangy shoulder stuff. Ugh. Or just come out in jeans and a t-shirt. Like she's one of those people that would look amazing in just jeans. She came out
looking way more casual. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
Where she looked more casual.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of can warm her to the audience too, right? Oh, she does own a pair of jeans.
See, exactly. She's just like one of us.
Right. I mean, so she married a network president. It doesn't matter. She's just like us.
She's just like the people on Big Brother. They're all the best of friends.
She puts her pumps on one at a time, just like everybody else.
That's what I mean. It doesn't take a lot to be a warm person unless you are really not.
Yeah.
If you are really not.
Maybe because she comes from a news background, right?
Yeah, because she has to be very like.
Maybe she just really had that, and it's taken her a long time to really just kind of be herself and like relax in the camera.
And it's funny because you'll see it with certain house guests, not even this year, but always. She will have certain house guests where it's like it's very mechanical. The conversation doesn't seem very fluid or genuine. But then she'll have certain people.
Well, with Derek, with Derek, he said, "What will you guys be dating after?" And he was like, "Expect unexpected." She was like, "Ooh, I like that."
I know. And then when she did that, I was like, "Stop it!"
Almost banter though. It was almost there, like a normal.
But see, like when she's talking to somebody like Janelle, I think her and Janelle have a lot of like. There's a lot of similar things in it, so it's like their conversations are always really fun for me to watch because they're both very like I don't know. I feel like they get each other in a way that like other house guests don't match up with her very well. Janelle is trained in how to speak with people too.
And when she probably feeds her the right things that then
and it's and it's because it's pageant. It's that pageant background.
Correct.
So I bet you if we watch Azah speak with her, we'll see that same like presentation conversation that's very easy and palatable for us to absorb because it just is all very smooth and the way it should be.
That's a good prediction. You should download that Caesars app and see if you can bet on that prediction.
Ooh.
Anybody sick of those commercials yet?
We don't see them here.
You are, I am, he is, she is, we are. No one's sick of that one. Okay.
No, we don't get it. We don't get that one. We get commercials for Kramer Meats.
Ness thinks Derek X will be asked to play back another season.
I think so. Like a fan favorite. Like they need to have a fan favorite season because there's a lot of people that would.
Well, he's still really young, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so is he like 22 or 23?
Yeah, he's just a bubby.
Yeah, so 4 or 5 years go by, he'd be.
He is. He's not legal to drive yet because he's a baby. No, he'll definitely be back, right? Don't you think? I mean, unless he can't do it for some reason, like I would see him being back. I could see him being.
I would not be upset.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like what I love too is he comes into so like green, and fresh, and he's gonna get like picked up, and he's gonna be part of this like CBS Big Brother world. And like next time we see him, he's gonna be an expert. He's gonna be an expert on the game.
If he ever plays a game, he has to come in immediately and start assessing people and figuring out who his alliance is going to be, and not let everyone else make an alliance without him.
Yes. And you know what? Know that.
Maybe CBS will like him so much they'll let him go over and play Survivor.
I know. I feel like
I don't think he'd be good on Survivor.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think he'll be comfortable? Like he could bring his Amber and Crombie Finch hoodie with him. Like he could have like an Amber and Crombie buff made.
Right.
I mean, I see a lot of marketing potential with him being on Survivor. Just saying. No, you're going to see Christian or Travis there most likely. If like anybody in this crew.
Kylan looks like a Survivor contender.
X would be good. X would be really good on Survivor too. Honestly, be good too. Yeah, he would do really good there.
And we'd all like to watch that. We'd love to watch Xavier on the island.
Okay, CBS, we're giving you some good hints. Again, you can PayPal us, Venmo us, or finder's fees.
Let the newbies fill out the first aid bags. We need to get the paychecks. Hire us.
Right.
Didn't you tell me that Christian missed Survivor because Probst didn't like him?
Yeah, he didn't get to go on Survivor. He got down to the final round where like Jeff gets to pick his favorites, and they called and were like, "Jeff doesn't like you."
And you know what? That actually gives me a new respect for Jeff's judgment of people.
Right. What did Jeff not like about him? Did he do a backflip and Jeff was like, "I'm done"?
Well, I think you know what? You'll notice with Jeff, what does he seem to? Jeff really, really appreciates people that have a lot of passion for the game and are intelligent.
Oh.
And those who kind of are not very super intelligent, he's like,
Oh, that's true.
So.
That's true.
I think that's where he's at.
Big Nash also says that he does think that it's going to be Sarah Beth and Alyssa.
It's the obvious move, and it's the obvious season for the obvious move.
Which is why I really hope that this power this week and the third nomination of X kind of shakes it up. Forces them to do the thing that they don't want to do, but they're going to have to do it now. Give us something to watch.
And one final thought, actually, too, on one of our house guests is, I have come to this place where I like Alyssa so much more than I thought that I was going to. Once she got unhinged from Christian's hip and she's getting to talk a little bit, and it's like,
I forget she's playing though. When I'm thinking of who's left, I always forget it.
That's because she was standing behind Christian the entire first half of the
game. And now she's standing behind X. You don't even see her.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's right. Alyssa's still playing.
And she is really teeny tiny, so she disappears.
And she looks like Ariana Grande.
She does.
You think so?
Yeah, a lot, I think.
Yep.
Every time
she
I
has
see
her
her,
hair
I think
pulled
that.
up, she really does. Yes.
I'm like Frankie would see her and give her a big hug and then realize it's
accidentally.
not his sister and
right?
Watch, we're gonna find out that that's like a cousin.
Oh my God,
or
it
something.
would be so funny if.
Wouldn't it be like?
It would be the best if like
she's from Florida. So.
If she gets put on the block and then she's like, "You guys, I have a secret to tell you."
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like, I'm related to somebody famous. Like the whole thing that Frankie did, like the attention sucking Frankie. But if she did like the same thing.
Oh, I loved Frankie. That's not.
I did too.
Frankie.
I really liked Frankie.
If you need to bash people, I'll give you a list of names.
And it's not Frankie.
Okay, this is the thing. Here's the thing with Frankie. He's a character and hilarious in a lot of ways. But like, this is what I can't handle. Here's Frankie, just like sitting and being cool and being Frankie. Here's a camera. Just the second that camera, and he'd like walk through the room and like where all the cameras were, he's like, like he can't.
But that's what you gotta love
for
about
the camera.
But that's his life. I mean, and being on Broadway, you literally are bigger. You have to even be bigger so the audience can see you, right?
My inner goth kid is like, no, not today.
I get it. And dude, look at his sister. He has to be like,
you really that's a lot of
right. You'd be like
in one direction.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, I'm here too. Remember me, your older child? I exist. I was here first.
That was the season where everyone's grandpas were dying. Like it's they had like 3 people that lost their grandfathers in that house.
Curse of the grandpas that year.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Should have got some more first aid bags. I don't know. Just saying. There could have been something. There's something they could have done.
And Kai sitting there telling them like, this meal ration, like.
I love that he is somebody that is trying to do good in the world, but also he's still a person. So he's like trying to let everyone know he's doing good in the world.
I do this all the time. Oh yeah, I've made tons of these.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they gave some of those bags to X while he was stuck in that room.
They're like, here, just okay, and like one last real concern. Okay, the only person in the house that is strong enough to handle this, I think it happened. The universe, like you say, the universe has a purpose. Whoever had to walk into that jury house after Brittany has spent a week on her own.
Oh my God.
He's literally the only person that
would not have murdered her.
Yeah, he's the only one. This is why it's him.
I think the bigger question is he spent 24 hours in that room, right?
Yes.
And his bathroom was in the tent.
Yes.
Do you think he had to turn the deuce or did he hold it?
I think I might have just. I mean,
that to me, I wonder the practical.
Wouldn't
it just stayed in there? It's the only time you could ever not be on camera.
Wouldn't it like totally suck if you had to? Like, wouldn't it suck if you had to as soon as they locked you up? Then you would be in the room with it.
Wouldn't it super suck if all you ate the day before was Mexican food?
It had a tank underneath.
Right? Like. You could have really like wrecked your gut not knowing that this was going to be, you could have eaten so much. You could have eaten so many mozzarella sticks and fries.
Maybe a shake from Sonic.
And some shake.
It's just sitting there.
Just sitting there. Like, ugh.
That's great. That is great. All right. Well, what else, guys? Anything else? Or should we wrap it up?
I'm just looking forward to next week. I liked that I got a little bit excited about the HOH tonight. And we'll see where it goes. It might only last for a day. Who are you voting for? Throw out your votes. Who do you think you're going to send the last set of BB bucks to?
Claire.
Ozza.
That's who I'm going for too.
Oh,
why Ozza?
I'll do Claire. I did Ozza last week. All 10 votes.
Yeah, I'm going.
And what'd she get? You were like the only 10 votes?
I don't know.
Did you get to see where she talked to the cameras about that? When she was like, "Come on, America, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? You want me to?"
Yeah, her Instagram surrogate sent it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going with Claire though. That's where I'm sending mine to Claire Bear.
You see, I'd love to see Claire if she somehow won the change it up and ended up being the HOH, because that would turn the game on its head potentially.
Yep.
Well, it would still. I think it would still go maybe Tiffany's way a little bit because they would probably still commiserate a little bit.
Right, but she'd go after it. At that point, it would be a free shot, and she'd go after X and Kai.
I think Tiffany would be right there going, this is perfect. This is my girl, and now I can help her, and we can get people out. But it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that X went home this week. What are you talking about?
Exactly. All right, so let's toss our votes to Claire and see where that goes.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good plan. I like this.
Right, I think Claire got like Team Frankie. Hey, did you see what I put on Twitter? I found a Facebook post from 2012, I think it was, where I was like, go Team Ian.
Oh, I will always Team Ian. I will always and forever.
I was so proud of myself when I saw that. I was like, yes.
Every year on Facebook on the memories thing, there's always one that's probably about time for it to come up, and it is a video that I took of like my TV screen when Ian did like a 1 foot hop across all of the squares in the living room and the kitchen in the middle of the night when nobody else.
Because he's just so bored. I need something to do. I need to focus on something other than going here.
Team in all the time, always team back.
Well, congratulations on that, guy. You that one aged well. You never know, right? It could go either way sometimes.
This is part of the reason.
I've got some tweets out there that need to be deleted, I'm sure.
But you know what?
I need to do it now that I've said it.
This is true.
People are going to be scrolling way back.
Truly why you and I can still be like such good friends because of Team Ian, our friendship exists because we have a Cardinals fan and a Cubs fan, and that's not an easy thing to make happen.
Are you kidding me? God's like a huge feminist now.
That a boy.
I'm a registered Democrat too.
I know. I'm so proud of you. You need a T-shirt, but we're gonna get you a Hillary T-shirt.
Well, let's not go that far.
Ooh, maybe we can make a bet. Ooh, this would be good. All right. Well, guys, we should probably wrap it up. Another great week, and hopefully we'll get to see some good gameplay this week. Everybody have a great weekend.
Gameplay. It doesn't even have to be great. Just some gameplay.
Something. Some moves. Some backstabbing. Something.
One argument.
Something. Yeah, exactly. Without all the crying. All right, guys.
No more crying. No more crying this week.
Don't forget to subscribe to Crazy Hank TV. You'll get to see us every week.
Where's it at? Like here?
I think it's
nowhere.
It's wherever Steven C ran off to.
I don't know. It's backwards. So it doesn't matter where I point. I'm pointing backwards. I can never figure it out. My brain can't do mirror. All right. See you guys.
Bye.